Right now, somewhere in your pocket or on your desk, your phone is quiet. No buzz, no light, nothing. And yet some part of you wants to check it anyway. You already know there's nothing new there. You checked 4 minutes ago. But the urge doesn't care what you know. It's older than the urge to know, far older. And the real answer for why it exists has almost nothing to do with apps or notifications or Silicon Valley engineers. It goes back 2 million years to a version of you that never once held a screen. Start with what your brain is actually built for. Not productivity, not focus, survival. For most of human history, staying alive meant paying constant attention to your surroundings. A rustle in the grass, a shift in the wind, a silence where there should have been birdsong. Your ancestors who ignored small signals died more often than the ones who checked everything. Twice, 3 times. Obsessively. That checking behavior wasn't anxiety, it was insurance. Here's where it gets strange. Your brain never got the memo that the savannah is gone. It still runs the same threat detection software, except now the signals are texts, likes, and red notification dots. Neuroscientist Robert Sapolsky has spent decades studying stress and reward systems in primates, and one of his clearest findings is that your dopamine system doesn't spike most at reward. It spikes at the anticipation of reward, like not the banana, the maybe banana, not the message, the maybe message. That single distinction explains almost everything about your phone. Think about a slot machine. You don't win every pull. You don't even win most pulls, but you keep pulling. In the 1950s, psychologist B. F. Skinner ran a series of experiments on pigeons using something called variable ratio reinforcement. He rewarded the birds with food, but not every time they pecked a lever, sometimes after 1 peck, sometimes after 20. The pattern was unpredictable, and the pigeons didn't peck less because of that unpredictability. They pecked more, obsessively. Far more than pigeons who got a reward every single time. Your phone runs on the exact same schedule. You don't get a like every time you post. You don't get a text every time you check. Some checks are empty. Some checks are gold. And your brain, running the same ancient reward circuitry as Skinner's pigeons, can't tell the difference between checking for a text and pecking for a pellet. But there's a second layer to this, and it's even older than reward seeking. It's about other people. For nearly all of human history, you lived in small groups, 50 people, 100 maybe. Your survival depended on knowing exactly where you stood in that group. Who was angry with whom? Who was planning to leave? Who might betray you and who might save your life? Anthropologist Robin Dunbar has argued that gossip itself evolved as a survival tool, a way of tracking social alliances long before written language existed. Knowing the social temperature of your tribe wasn't idle curiosity, it was navigation, where your phone didn't invent that need. It hijacked it. Every notification is a tiny signal about your social standing. Someone liked this. Someone commented on that. Someone is talking about you or not talking about you. And either way, your ancient tribal monitoring system wants to know. Psychologist John Cacioppo, who spent much of his career studying loneliness, found that social disconnection triggers something close to physical alarm in the body. Not sadness first, alarm first. The same alarm your ancestors felt when they realized they'd wandered too far from the group. So when your phone buzzes, you're not just checking a message, you're checking your place in the tribe. Are you still safe? Are you still seen? Are you still one of the group that survives the night? Here's the counterintuitive twist, the part that should genuinely unsettle you. The apps weren't built to inform you. They were built to exploit exactly this. Former tech insiders, including engineers who worked on early social platforms, have openly described designing features specifically to trigger the same variable reward loop Skinner found in his pigeons. The infinite scroll, the pull to refresh gesture modeled deliberately after a slot machine, the notification badge in aggressive red, a color your visual system is wired to flag as urgent, even when it's just an app reminding you to update your profile picture. You are not weak for feeling pulled toward your phone 40, 60, 100 times a day. You are exactly as attentive as a creature evolved over 2 million years to survive would be, placed inside an environment engineered by people who studied exactly how that attention works and built a machine to catch it. Think about that for a second. What if the problem was never a lack of willpower? What if you're simply a very old system running inside a very new trap? There's an experiment worth knowing here too. Psychologists have used something called the still face paradigm, where a parent suddenly stops responding to their infant, showing no expression at all. Within seconds, the baby becomes distressed. not because anything painful happened, because the connection went silent. Some researchers have drawn a direct line between that ancient distress response and the low-grade unease you feel when a message goes unanswered, when your phone stays quiet for just a little too long. Silence to a social animal has never meant nothing. Silence has always meant something might be wrong. So the itch to check your phone isn't really about the phone. It's about a 100,000-year-old fear of being cut off from the group. It's about a reward system that can't distinguish a maybe text from a maybe meal. It's about a mind built for scarcity, dropped into an environment of infinite engineered abundance. Like, none of that makes you broken. Like, it makes you human in the oldest sense of that word, reacting exactly the way a human brain is supposed to react to signals that feel like survival. Does knowing this change anything? Maybe not the urge itself. That's built in too deep for a single insight to erase. But it changes what the urge means. It's not a character flaw. It's not proof you lack discipline. It's a 2 million-year-old alarm system still faithfully doing its job in a world that learned exactly how to keep setting it off. So tonight, when your phone buzzes and your hand moves before your mind decides to move it, remember what's actually happening. It's not weakness reaching for the screen. It's the oldest part of you, still checking the grass for a rustle, still listening for the silence that means something's wrong,